It's Zero RB Friday here on Splash Play Pod, where I am pot committed to not drafting a running back for at least the first 5 rounds, probably 6. Who even knows? But it's going to be a fun one today. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. I'm a 4-time BBM and DK Millie finalist, and this is the year we take it all down. Of course, I'm already in a draft room, and as has been the case many times here on Zero RB Friday, where I'm tempted early on. Christian McCaffrey at the 101 regularly falls to me only on Zero RB Friday here. But we pick it at the 102, and hopefully the guy at the 101 will take CMC and give us CD Lamb would be the hope here. But excited to be in this room here. Also forgot to tweet out. We got training camp news as always as well, and it's a lot of it today. So bear with me. Let me just tweet out the show real fast. And of course, drafts here Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m., including tomorrow, where we'll hit the world of drafters. More on that coming up here later in the video. On the clock, CD Lamb goes motherfucker. CeeDee Lamb goes 101. I would love to get my Christian McCaffrey exposure at least hold steady at 8%. Tyreek Hill, sure, though Jefferson's on the thumbnail. Let's have some fun. Jefferson in the 2-hole. He's great. He got the most money in league history at receiver. We can do it. Jefferson at 102. Changing up our priors here. All right. So training camp news. Let's dig in. So there's a lot, so fucking bear with me. Jamar Chase sitting in camp, maybe a holdout for his contract. The Bengals don't want to give him a contract until next year. Him sitting out, if he's sitting out again today, that means he's officially in a holdout is what I would say. So something to keep an eye on there. Jamar Chase, does that lead to him coming down? He's in the same situation as CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek Hill not holding out, even though there were reports that he wanted a new contract. But seems like holdouts not affecting the top receivers so far with where ADPs are. Maybe that changes if the holdouts drag out into August. More money is coming off the table if the holdouts do drag out. So something to keep in mind for all those guys. Cortland Sutton got new money, so he's good to go. He joins Matthew Stafford, Amari Cooper as people who got new money added onto their contracts. Not more years, just more money, either in the forms of incentives or additional money guaranteed. I think in Amari Cooper's case, actually, I think all those guys might have gotten guaranteed money a little bit. I think Sutton got incentives. I don't know if there was a guarantee given him. But that doesn't really matter that much for best ball. Brandon Ayuk hanging out with John Lynch at the sideline seems amicable, if nothing else there. Those guys hanging out, watching practice yesterday. If I had to guess, again, as I have before, think they meet in the middle at like 27, 28 million. Ayuk wants the 30s. I think the Niners wanted to give him 24 mil. They'll find a middle price point if I had to guess. Justin Fields up and down, filling in for Russell Wilson yesterday, who's out with a calf issue. Van Jefferson bomb was probably the highlight you saw on social media. Van Jefferson running as the wide receiver too. So that's pretty important to note for people who've been really drafting Roman Wilson. He's come down enough, but Van Jefferson, not an exciting play. If you want to take him in around 18, you can. Lots of tight end usage at Steelers camp. Not a surprise, including 13 personnel with Pat Freiermuth, Connor Hayward, and Darnell Washington all on the field together. So that doesn't bode well for pass game production. And similarly, George Pickens had a heated exchange with the wide receiver coach, Zach Arisi, on the sidelines. The Athletic reporter said he wasn't happy, which is one of my fears for Russell Wilson. I mean, the Russell Wilson situation, but really Pickens and Arthur Smith offense. I think it could be a bad scene, and him going at his ADP. Look, I think there's already signs of him being unhappy at times last year. Pickens, if he's unhappy, I think is going to be a problem there. Chargers, thought it was interesting. Jared Patterson ran with the first team alongside J.K. Dobbins, probably because of the fact, let's see, is this fucker in the 11 hole he's going to get Marvin Harrison and Puka, isn't he? The thing that I thought I was finally going to have on stream yesterday, he doesn't even take it. He thinks it's so common, he doesn't even care. He doesn't take Puka and Marvin Harrison. Unbelievable. Anyway, Jared Patterson ran with the first team yesterday. I think it's just because Gus Edwards wasn't going. They just wanted a proxy, kind of big-bodied RB power back. So if I had to guess, Jared Patterson locked in that second team with Kamani Vidal, with Isaiah Spiller, and with Elijah Dotson, I think, is the fourth guy there. Quentin Johnson, Brendan Rice also running with the second team. Not that that matters too much, but I think we already knew with Quentin Johnson. Brendan Rice, though, on the second team might be a positive for him. I don't even know. Xavier Worthy's back at practice today, so good signs there. He was out sick for 3 days, not a hamstring issue like it was in minicamp. Ricky Pearsall sprinting on track to return next week. And Jacob Cowing has actually been seeing some first-team work with Pearsall and Ayuk sitting. So Jacob Cowing fans, I know our guy D. Owens is a deep fan of his. I was asking if he could draft him. Still would say no. But I think with Pearsall coming back, probably gets a little bit tougher for Cowing to get on the field, even though he's looked good so far. Jalen McMillan camp buzz about being able to work everywhere has basically been the thing. A lot of filleting of him in general, though, which I'm going to use the word filleting more than any other training camp news outlet you're going to see out there. Still an obvious wide receiver 3, Jalen McMillan is, but does seem like he could seize enough that maybe you have him in builds where you don't have one of Evans and Godwin. I think if you make a bet on Jalen McMillan being good, it sort of should be a bet that Evans and Godwin, one of them falls. So combine them together, they're Edwins. But Evans and Godwin, one of them has to fall, I think. Like, you shouldn't do a triple stack. I think a triple stack would be really lofty bet in a team that I expect to regress a little bit without Dave Canales. Who Dave Canales, not in the news items, but Carolina doing a weird, healthy work schedule where they're going to end work days at 5 p.m. on Mondays. They're going to end work days at 2 p.m. on Fridays. Dave Canales is like my ideal man. I love fucking Dave Canales. All right, we're at the 102 spot. We did a weird thing reaching for Justin Jefferson. We can soak up some Brandon Ayuk value here, who I am under the field on. I am deliberately underfield on Mike Evans. Think he should be priced a little bit later. My ranks would say Evans. Or, yeah, the ADPs would say Ayuk, and my ranks say Ayuk. Sorry about that. Thinking about Evans, really thinking if I'm right about fading Evans at this point. But we're not going to take Evans. If he comes back next pick, it'll be a tougher choice. But Brandon Ayuk here on 0 RB Friday long. Justin Jefferson, a build I feel like I've had in every BBM tournament I've maxed, at least one lineup of. All right, so we have DK Metcalf here. Mike Evans, again, if I do want to get my exposure, could level out both Ayuk and Evans today or get closer to it. I like Metcalf. I do like continuing to load up on him being the Romo Dunze in this Ryan Grubb offense. Oh, man. And we didn't take Dallas anyway. So, yeah, let's go. Let's go. We got DK Metcalf, week 16 correlation with Minnesota. I like Metcalf. I feel like I'm going heavier Metcalf right now than I have been at any other point, which is stupid given that he's at his highest price point. But I haven't prioritized him enough. Now I'm prioritizing him. So the team so far is 0-0-3-0. Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf is a start. And this guy in the 3-hole, he got McCaffrey as a huge discount compared to where he's normally going, 101 or 102. And here he gets Devon Achane. Here he gets Kyron Williams. You don't need to press your advantage that much at RB. If he hits wide receiver incredibly hard for the next 9 rounds, then maybe we'll say this team could make it. Otherwise, he is in a problem here. A little late arriving. Hey, turn on that notification bell because I go live at really random weirdo times these days. But appreciate you being here, Mr. Mister. Of course, top 10 finisher last year. Give him his flowers. TM Longacre, Mr. Mister. Interesting to jump to the stream and hear I love fucking Dave Canales. Look, he's a handsome man. I think we can all agree. But love what he's doing. Other news items. Okay, so we got Jalen McMillan. More Khalil Shakir hype. Puff piece on The Athletic for him about how consistent he is. Curtis Samuel in the same piece referred to for his versatility. He's playing the slot. He's playing out wide. He's probably on the field a lot. KJ Hamler also highlighted here above guys like Chase Claypool, like Mac Hollins, guys who are playing a little bit, I guess the same amount as Hamler. Hamler's speed was a thing that they feel like nobody else there has, along with the fact that he could play out wide, play out of the slot, still get downfield. So Hamler maybe around 18 dart for the Bills if you want to try something weird. But it does seem like locking in Curtis Samuel for more, locking in Shakir for more, and Keon Coleman already has a touchdown this morning in Bills practice. I think locking him in. He's fallen in ADP. There was never really a logical reason why. I would start to walk that back if you could. Andre Yoshevich being used out of the slot, also being filleted. Again, the second time we're using filleted here in my news items for the day. But Yoshevich, a lot of positive talk about him by the team, by the beat reporters as well. Seems like that's not a great thing for Jermaine Burton. I would start to knock Burton down a little bit. Yoshevich, again, draftable in the 18th round. Still think that's going to be functionally a timeshare between Yoshevich, Charlie Jones as well, who's in the mix, Trenton Irwin, who's still there, and Jermaine Burton. But people like Burton. Burton's talent's there. He's an SEC guy. I get it. But do you think Yoshevich getting this much love early on, not the greatest thing. Just having a mixed, chopped up spot for the slot there. Not a great thing overall. Gesicki might get used out of the slot too. Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks both making plays. Tolbert actually had the play of the day yesterday for the Cowboys. So both guys, valuable draft picks around 18. Definitely, round 19, round 20 in DraftKings, I think getting more appealing. Still would favor Tolbert. It's kind of do or die time for him. He's had enough time in the system as well. This is about the time where he should take a leap. And again, year 1 to year 2, the biggest leap for receivers. Tolbert in year 2 to year 3, still a chance for a big leap for him if he actually gets on the field. But Brooks, as a rookie, looking good. I think there's a shot there. And this is a deep cut one, but I think maybe you could take this guy round 18, round 20 on DraftKings. Jordan Whittington, having some Debo Samuel-esque tools, maybe a late round dart toss for Rams builds with Arizona is what I think. Possibly over Tutu, wouldn't take him over Demarcus Robinson. But I think if you have a Rams single and you just don't know what to do in the 18th round, everything you like got taken, I would say Whittington cusp play. A little bit early to say that, but you could take him, I think. Oh, Diego, thank you. This is halfway. Good bit by Diego. Appreciate him coming back here. Diego, of course, on Saturday taught me about the joys of full point PPR on Drafters. So I'll even put up the ad here. But Drafters, be doing that tomorrow at 11 a.m. Drafters.com. Use that promo code now to draft along with me because I don't care on Saturdays if you draft along with me. Knock yourself out. Minnesota, San Francisco, Seattle. Got a falling Trey McBride, a falling T. Higgins, which does very little for me. This guy's got receiver. Oh, 0 RB Friday. 0 RB Friday. I'm not taking my first share of T. Higgins. The T. Higgins fade remains on. T. Higgins, by the way, out of shape at camp. To start camp, but is getting deep targets from Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase out there. Higgins, I could probably start taking Higgins at some point, but not today. I'm not ready for T. Higgins yet. That's my August leveling things out time to get T. Higgins, get closer to 4% to 8%. But right now, happy to let T. Higgins fall if he's going to fall in rooms. And we'll take Trey McBride. No correlation with anything, but an elite tight end for us. And we didn't get Sam Laporta back, as would have been the dream. We don't get Terry McLaurin here, which I thought we were live for. If ever there were a time to take T. Higgins, it would be at pick 50. Oh, these bastards. These bastards are really roping me in. Can also level out my Jaden Reed. But Jaden Reed represents a 14-pick ADP flip. I got to take T. Higgins. Motherfucker boxed me into taking T. Higgins. I hate this. What a tough day. All right, we have Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, and T. Higgins at an 8-pick ADP discount. And Trey McBride is our elite tight end. McBride's still my favorite tight end pick at ADP. I think you make a case he should be tight end 2 off the board behind Sam Laporta. Do not really agree with the Travis Kelce rise, but we get McBride here. We get Higgins. Feeling good about it. Pete Thickens. Thank you, Pete Thickens. Disbanded. Are you so frequently banned at places that you have to put the period in to make sure that you're like not banned? Because you're okay here. You've never said anything bad. So I don't know why you do. Is that just like your bit? Like, is that how you enter a room? Like you hit the period sign? I have to ask these questions because I see these things enough. I pay attention to everything people post in the comments or in chat. So I appreciate the kind words. I notice your weird things people do as well. Same page of T. Hig and T. Hoggins. There we go. Man didn't have the Puka production profile, but given he was behind Xavier Worthy and AD Mitchell, hard to blame him. Not sure who we're talking about. But anyway. Oh, Whittington is who we're talking about. Yeah, Whittington, look. I don't think he's a better pick than D-Rob at cost. This is a team that's trying to make the playoffs, and Robinson is a vet who had some pretty good spike weeks last year. But I think, as an 18th round flyer, occasionally wouldn't go. He's not the new Puka. Please don't say Spag. Don't fucking tag Justin Herzig and go Spags thinks that fucking Jordan Whittington is the new Puka. What an idiot. As sometimes people seem to do now on Twitter, which I don't enjoy. Somebody tried to start a beef with me in the Coach Speak Index yesterday, which I was one of the earliest people. I think Pete did, Kareem did, maybe a few other people who were in the friends landscape did. But I love the Coach Speak Index's page. I do think that there is a possibility that personal bias creeps in a little bit for some of that stuff. I think he's doing the best he can to stay unbiased. But, when you're telling people go run to grab this guy, I think that's when there's personal bias injected. But somebody clipped the clip of me saying I disagree with him about Rashad White and Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving, by the way, working with the fucking first team already, and he's right behind Rashad White. So I'm getting exactly the outcome I was hoping for Bucky Irving, guys. But I think the point is that, people really want people to fucking fight. People want me to fight with people in particular, it seems. This is now the second time in a week where somebody tagged Justin Herzig on me saying I disagreed with this Herbert Swift take while also being shitty to me. And another guy then clipping me and sending it to the Coach Speak next guy and trying to make me feud with them. And I fucking love that handle. That and 32 beat writers, two of my favorites. I just love Bucky. I think Bucky's great. And my priors have been proven pretty correct so far. So, and pretty much across the board. This is the one thing I do well. I have the best priors in the biz. Don't call it take lock. Call it take dominating. Always try to angle shoot Portnoy like Herzig. I thought about DMing Dave and being like, hey, can I coach you for this best ball stuff? Because Dave and I'm on decent terms with Dave. He obviously fucked me over a lot in the Barstool days, but I've been kind to him in the years. I never bashed them too much publicly. I tell it how it is for sure about them. But yeah, like the Herzig thing, I thought that was a little cringe. I don't know. But I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to get attention, trying to get, people to invest in best ball. I just think that's not the way to do it. The way to do that with Barstool would be like having a content flow, but they've never cared that much about fantasy football in a real way. 0041 build here. Again, bummer, because if I had taken Mike Evans, I could have then had Deontay Johnson. I just don't take Mike Evans enough. I am low on the combo of DK Metcalf and JSN. Oh, man, I like both these guys a lot. This is tough. Deontay, I think, is coming up. I'll go JSN, though. I would like to get more JSN. I think he's going to benefit in this offense for Seattle. We don't have any Chicago Oppo correlation, but we got the Metcalf bet. So we'll add him on here as wide receiver 5, and we'll see what we get back. I mean, this guy's probably due for an RB as well. I would be happy to take David Montgomery. I would be happy to take Deontay Johnson, honestly, even though that makes us kind of an extreme 0 RB team. All right, let's see. All right, so he does take Deontay, so that option's off the card. So we're not going to do an extreme 0 RB here, though. Jameson Williams, kind of fun. Jameson Williams having a monster camp that I think is being slept on a little bit. And I don't mind. Oh, I don't mind it. But I think Montgomery, the more logical bet. I am going to be probably 33% David Montgomery by the end of this. If he keeps staying at 75, he is just too good of a part of a 0 RB build or a Hugh RB build, a McCaffrey Hugh RB build especially. So David Montgomery will go to here. So we had a shot at McCaffrey at our pick. So theoretically, we're leveraging against that. That's a little 40 chess by taking David Montgomery. But we do have, he's our first RB off the board, not a hero RB. It's definitely still a 0 RB build. Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, my first share of T. Higgins in all of BBM, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and we have Trey McBride at tight end. Like the start of this team. Could have been a little bit better, but there we go. Listen to a Barstool podcast the other day called Best Ball Draft. They just did a draft of what kind of ball is. Funny bit. But yeah, they do ranking shows a lot. Look, I think it's fun to be there. It's fun to do that kind of content and to get paid well for it. I was paid very handsomely for my time there. So no complaints on that. It does feel though, like I see a lot of stuff from Barstool in my feed sometimes, and it's like a lot of it's like now completely out of my interest level, but more power to them. I do wish they kind of stuck with what they represent initially, which is like, being avant-garde about media stuff and pushing more towards that. But now it's just like kind of an influencer company, which more power to them. They make a lot of money. Would be great. What do I use for camp info? Again, Coach Speaking Next, which I think is great. Clip that and fucking tag them in it, guys. I think they do a great job. 32 beat writers, The Athletic. Those are the biggest ones. I also, at this point, have my Twitter page pretty well curated that I'm getting a lot of stuff in the feed that I can see generally that I'm keeping up with things mostly throughout the day. I'm making notes for things that I want to put in now, especially because I'm doing the news items. I do in a Google sheet every day that I know people can read. So trying to make sure my news is up to date through those main 3 things. 32 beat writers, Coach Speak Index, The Athletic, I think are the biggest 3. And then just having a good Twitter. Shout out our guy Tyler, appreciate him here. Hope somebody good got the membership, but thank you for that. Tyler been busy with work stuff, of course, grinding his nards off as well in the best ball street. So check out his work. I think he did a stream with the best ball guy I saw on Twitter recently. We got a guy, the Pound here. Hey, if the Pound's here, that means it's time to put up the ads. Ever you want me to put up the ad, Pat, just show up in chat and remind me. Best ball overlay. You can see my data on screen here. Of course, I'll review my exposures at the end of the video as well. But seeing the week 16, week 17 matchups, my exposures, the exposure part in particular, a key decision-making point, and I can see stuff as well. I have no bias against Jake Ferguson whatsoever. I got 1% of him. He just goes in weird spots and rooms for me, and I've not gotten a lot of Dallas, single stacks, let alone double stacks. So that's something I would like to address. I could see it on screen here drafting. So bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH on there to get $10 off. That means getting your first month for $20. So basically at this point, if you sign up, you're getting it until the stretch run of best ball. So get 1 month in there. Good deal. Spags, your IG been brought back up? No, it's really fucking annoying. I actually couldn't WhatsApp somebody yesterday, one of our advisors who's based in South America, because that's also affected by this issue. It's really fucking dumb. I submitted a ticket on Facebook. For some reason, my Facebook account works, even though that's the one that was connected to the old Facebook page. That caused an issue for me. But no, my IG is not up. Any team reviews you want have to be through DM on Discord. And honestly, for my flow too, the DMs on Discord are the best way to do it. Makes it much easier for me to keep up. Ferguson goes at 91. Again, people take Ferguson in the 60s sometimes in the rooms I've streamed lately. I would not be the move for sure. And Dave gets a membership. Shout out Dave Gladstone. Hope he's glad. Hope he's also stoned. Hope those things. All right, picks coming up here, guys. If you're enjoying this draft, of course, I do drafts every Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. Please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you're watching after the fact as well. All of it goes a long way here. For me, as sole proprietor, trying to make it all work here, showing you my work here on stream, giving away EV in the process, unfortunately. Whether I want to or not, I'm giving it away. And, of course, Underdog, our proud sponsor here, promo code SPLASH on there. If you want up to $250 in bonus cash, and you guys know the deal by now. Many people are calling it boner cash because of how turgid they get when they see that new income in their lives. How many more best ball teams they can build as a result. All right, so Swift went, which I think would have been nice. Going the Seattle triple is also kind of fun. Correlation-wise, we are lacking greatly. Raheem Mostert, though, does make us up a little bit at RB. I think that's the way we have to go. The temptingness of Brock Bowers with Trey McBride is certainly there for me, but it's about good structure here. We have the elite tight end. At that point, it doesn't make the most sense to take Brock Bowers. Even though I know a lot of you guys from the team reviews do enjoy taking Brock Bowers as an elite tight end. For the most part, not the best use of draft capital, especially if to make it up at a position like we do at RB. Dak Prescott goes to the CeeDee Lamb drafter. Honestly, nice team by him. Nice 0 RB team by him on 0 RB Friday. Jaden Daniels still here. Don't think it's a bet for us, though, today. Lockett still being here is so tempting, but I do think we need to keep making it up at RB a little bit more. And frankly, the Bowers elite tight end is getting more tempting as we sit here. But if I add Pollard in, if I add Tyjae in, fuck it. One time here, we'll do the Brock Bowers pairing. Hopefully they don't have the same buy, right? Okay, thank God. They don't have the same buys. There's nothing else here that appeals to me that much. I think the Lockett Seattle triple would make sense because then theoretically, I should also be able to push Geno Smith around. But my logic here is that there's a lot of Seattle stacks with Geno that are going to have Noah Fant tacked on. I'm going to try to be stacking Geno here. Obviously, we have DK Metcalf, have JSN. So I'm going to hope that we can get Geno, and then maybe we can just stomp out Noah Fant with our Trey McBride, Brock Bowers. A little flimsy for sure of a reason to do that pick, but we're going to go with it. JJ 102, nice. Again, he's on the thumbnail. Look at Jets on the thumbnail. Frankly, you could talk me into putting Sam Darnold in this build for today. Darnold looking good in camp. Darnold and Jefferson, or as we've learned from receiver, his alter ego, Jets, who's the one who actually plays in the field. Jets is out there making great plays downfield with Sam Darnold, which I think does matter a little bit. If he can do that reliably, he's going to keep that job for a year. You make it up at RB by taking Sinnott late. He plays fullback. Don't you trigger me. He's not been playing fullback right now. He's just behind Ertz, unfortunately. One of the rare times you see a Tyjae Tony Pollard flip. Kind of wonder if that's going to happen more as we go. If nothing else from leveling out exposures, I think you'll see some rooms where Tyjae does flip Tony Pollard. Sam, the Geno this season, Howell's just really not that good. And again, Geno, it's just, can Geno do that offense? Can Geno be Michael Penix? I think he can. He's accurate enough. I think he's got some conservative tendencies that they're going to have to browbeat out of him, which is a thing that comes naturally to Howell. Howell's a natural deep ball thrower, threw it at a high volume at UNC, which is part of why I was interested in him coming into the NFL. But how he handled pressure last year was not very good. Not a plus EPA player. Wasn't even that good throwing the ball downfield when he had the opportunity to do it. So I don't particularly want to see Howell going. But Geno's old, so I get it. Guarantee the Lamb Dak drafter has Rico/Zeke queued up in this draft. It's possible. I mean, he doesn't have many RBs, so it would be logical to take one of them. I wouldn't be mad at him for it. It's a good pick. Think Darnold could be great this year. Really, his first chance with great targets. I agree. Look, Darnold's came into the league young. Darnold, I know, again, my USC bias, it's the blanket we have behind me is a proud USC blanket. That said, Darnold, I think, has had moments where he's shown big upside. He's also had the really bad moments, but he came into the league young enough. He's still young enough that there's a chance that this could be a spot to rejuvenate him. The issue is that McCarthy is also good, and McCarthy yesterday throwing ropes to really accurate, a lot of precision with power on his passes. That's the kind of thing that McCarthy can win the job with. But as long as Darnold looks good, they're going to run out Darnold, and then as soon as Darnold hits the wall, you get McCarthy in, and you hope that gives you a little bit of a spike in energy, spike in upside, and you get to see what McCarthy has. But if Darnold is just good, then it's hard to take the job away from him, given how young McCarthy is. Shout out to guy Bindles here. Morning Squirt Squad. Appreciate all the regulars being here. Of course, all the new names as well. Very kind to see you guys around here. Let's see what we get. These next picks coming up. I feel like the 2-hole or the 11-hole, same thing. It's like it sucks being on the back end of the board, but then it sucks worse because you're not at the turn, just getting to pick unencumbered. You still have to go like, well, what's this fucking guy going to do? Like, is he going to ruin the thing that I want to do? Is there some way I can make him push something back? You kind of have to think it out a little bit more than you should have to. And you're not getting much of a premium by picking ahead of that pick on the, on the turn. Wicks here, a little bit of a discount wouldn't be bad. We do need to keep making it up at RB. But honestly, I'm low on Wicks. I like getting Wicks when he's at a reasonable price point. I think we're at a reasonable price point at 119. And we're going to get a decent RB back no matter what. So we'll go Wicks. I'm trying to really be price sensitive about Wicks because to me, he's still functionally a wide receiver 4. But we have Jefferson here. We'd like to get a bring back for him if we can. So we'll get that bring back that way. And there we go. As predicted in the chat, Ezekiel Elliott goes to the Dallas draft in the 1-hole, which smart move by him. Gus Edwards here. Do you think Gus is going to be that power back that dominates the backfield for the Chargers? I am not team Kamani Vidal. We do have the bet on, well, that's, yeah. You have the bet on Miami, so could go Jerome Ford here, but that's, again, another 11 ADP pick flip, which I don't want to do. I'll go Gus. 12% Gus, 21% Ford. Corum could make sense as well as a bring back for Arizona, but I'm not going to reach for Blake Corum. That's not where I'm at mentally. So Gus Edwards is the pick. We have a 0-3-6-2 build here. David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, Gus Edwards are the RBs. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf. T. Higgins is a discount. Is the only way you're going to get me to get him here on stream. JSN, Dontavian Wicks, a little bit of a discount, and same principle for him. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, our elite tight ends. Feeling good. We just got to stick to landing at QB, which can be evasive sometimes here on stream / in drafts in July and August, but we'll see what we can do. Thank you. Congrats on having tight end 1 and tight end 2 this year. I appreciate it. Glad to lock it down this early in July. How many Sun God Debo Waddle starts have you seen? I think I drafted the winner this week. I don't know. I would say that's the winner. Debo and Amon-Ra, I've seen enough. Waddle falling to the 3rd, probably not a lot. Probably not a lot to the beginning of BBM. So you definitely got yourself a unique team. Don't know that makes it the winner. You got to stick the landing with everything else, but glad to hear you're excited about it. It's the whole thing. It's the fun of BBM, just being excited about your teams. I'm excited about mine usually. I'm honestly excited. I don't want to jinx it, but this week, you guys might have noticed, 5 days, the first week legit since I don't even know when, our draft stalker didn't make a single draft. So we're 5 for 5 so far. Did I do a double this week? I think I've only done singles. But, of course, I've jinxed it now. If I do a second draft, he'll be right there waiting for me. I'll feel the evil. But it's been fucking great for me. It's been a great week of drafts. Coincidentally enough, it's been a great week of drafts. I don't know why. Jerome Ford's ADP may keep falling. Casuals love a brand name. Yeah, and they love a guy who did some squats. They love seeing that guy just do a couple squats. They're like, fuck yeah, man. All those priors, all the fact that if you're over 25, really hard to overcome a knee injury. Did you see those squats? Oh, this guy can't jump or cut yet. Oh, but did you see the squats? Did you see the bar bend when he did those squats? Oh my God. Tough seeing. You probably maxed. I hope so. I don't think he did, but I love that. No star. Get out of town. No. Please support my sanity. I'm honestly so much happier doing drafts without that guy in them. It just makes me really uncomfortable. Like, it's really like, it's like somebody taking a part of your life without you giving them permission to, which, like, that's obviously low on the spectrum of things you compare that to, but it's still on that spectrum of things you can compare that to. But that'd be great if he did max. Would love to see that. You see B-Rob catching passes in practice. He can jump and cut. I did. He's looking good. Honestly, Washington's doing exactly what I want them to do. Wish they were getting more public steam for it. Jaden did throw his first pick of the camp today, so a downer there. I guess eventually he had to throw one. But he's been looking good. Good reviews for Robinson. Robinson heavily in the mix. My guys, McLaurin looking good, getting red zone targets. I haven't heard a lot about Dotson, but he and McCaffrey at least are playing and with that first team. I think we'll get there. Ford at 141. Almost got Ford at 1. If I got Ford at 143, this team would be absolutely fucking popping, but sad to see that not be the case. A world where Blake Corum goes 127 and Jerome Ford goes 141 is not a correct world. Marshawn Lloyd goes, gosh darn it. We'll get Ty Chandler here, though. I would like to up my Ty Chandler exposure. Would not like to up my Kendre Miller exposure. We're going to let that sit for a little bit. Trevor Lawrence still floating around, huh? This is a wild room. I feel like Trevor Lawrence, you guys saw Mike Leone snipe me for Trevor Lawrence at like 115 the other day. Here we have Trevor Lawrence going for free. Unbelievable. Should I backdoor Trevor Lawrence at this point? Honestly, with no QBs, wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Because this guy's got 2 QBs, so he's not going to take Trevor Lawrence. We can hit him with the Parker Washington, Brenton Strange. All right. I mean, look, another RB would help us out here for sure. Tyler Algier. I'm definitely not taking Kendre when he's going the wrong way. I think we just have to do this. We also have a little bit of correlation with Vegas in week 16. So we'll go with that as a logic. Trevor Lawrence unstacked at 146. And then, yeah, I think we are in Parker Washington. Tank Bigsby land. Tank Bigsby can correlate. We can live with this. Camp's getting real wild with camp season. Or room's getting real wild. Yeah, like, I mean, that's how it goes. People don't know how to react to news. People also, you're getting the casual drafters in, your redraft drafters, some of whom I'm sure can be good, but a lot of people don't spend the time learning best ball. And you're also seeing a lot of stuff. I know Pete retweeted it this morning on Twitter. The guy Two Gun, who's a very good gambler, but put out the old bell curve meme of like, oh, like player takes are going to be the way to win BBM. And it's like, no, it is still structure. Getting player takes right. Look, I believe one of my strengths as a player, as a gambler, as somebody who creates content, is I really do know football at a level that goes fairly deep. That said, like, that is still the thing that's going to be second to structure. Like, I can know football really well, and you know what? AR gets hurt. Christian Watson gets hurt all of a sudden at the end of the year, and we don't know that until the season's already starting. Things like that really killed my portfolio last year, and I think the bets were still good. They were things that ended up, right in the small sample size we saw, but, like, it was tough. So I think that's something where, you can really, player takes are great, but structure is the thing you fall back on. ADP value, stacking, correlation. These are the core principles that will make you more profitable over the course of your portfolio. And I know because I've seen it firsthand. I coached people last year who I saw their growth and I saw their results at the end of the year. And player takes, add them on top. You see me do it. You see my exposures, but it still comes down to structure, stacking, correlating, all that. Both your big player stands getting injured last year was super unlucky. Yeah, it wasn't great. It really bounced out. The heavy HN I had, some other good takes I had that worked out. But, I also had some stuff that was wrong, like Charbonnet, Kendre, had too much of those guys. And obviously they didn't end up getting there, though I think their run out was kind of unlucky. But you could say that. You can defend a lot of best ball takes with that as well. So I get it. Your North Star for betting you mentioned, is that a proprietary thing, just something you stumbled upon, figure out? You have to have a North Star for anything in betting. So for probably the sports betting app that I have, and I'll put the plug on the screen while I do it, for probably our North Star of betting is that it's market data from the top performing sports books. So because we know these sports books do the best out of everybody, we can trust them most per sport. And then you can come up with a true probability that allows you to price bets at legal US sports books. So that's your North Star there, probably.com if you want to check it out, probly.com. For football, my North Star is EPA stuff. So like Sam Sherman's tweeting out stuff from Sports Info Solutions. We actually tweeted about it back and forth a little bit today. Greatest product out there is Sports Info Solutions product because it allows you to get EPA metrics for all these different situations. And EPA is expected points added, which basically tells you how a player performs over average, how that contributes to a team's theoretical points on a drive. Because basically, like if a drive gets the 20, it's worth, I don't know, let's say 3.5 points. If a drive gets the 10, it's worth 4.8 points. And the assumption is that, every team that gets the 10, you level that out, it ends up being worth 4.8 points per drive. So because that's what EPA is, like that's my North Star. It tells me how players perform, how they did in college. I could then kind of weight it accordingly as how they're going to do in the pros. So just having something you base your process off of for anything in gambling is, I think, very important. And having it be previous results is the worst thing you could do. That's why the data research apps in sports betting are so bad for you, because they're just telling you stuff that happened already. It's not predictive. It's just reflective of your own priors and things like that. Geno Smith goes to this guy. Fuck. That's not great. Yeah, but of course he had Tyler Lockett, so he had to get the Geno single. Man. These fucking July and August rooms. I'm trying to explain gambling here. I'm trying to be helpful, provide value. I'm getting this shit. Motherfucker. All right. We're going to backdoor some shit that I don't like. Pause, I'm sure, for somebody. We're going to go Demario Douglas here. Man. I could have gone a different way with this. That would have been okay. But I saw the Chargers New England correlation, and that's where my brain went. But I could have gone Tampa Bay, tried to get McMillan coming up. I think would have been it. Yeah, you got it. You got my tilt. Enjoy my tilt. It feels so much worse too at a time where I'm like legit trying to explain like how I view gambling and trying to be helpful. It hurts much more. It really did. It cuts deep. It really fucking hurt. You need to keep making it up at RB. Fuck. We need another QB who ideally one that correlates would be great. But I think at this point, I think we're just going to keep building out New England, and we're going to quietly pray. So Antonio Gibson, come on down. Gibson still on the NFI list as of now, though he's expected to be back soon. Do you think it's a little bit of risk for him to be on the non-football injury list because you do have JaMychal Hasty there. I do have Kevin Harris there, and obviously just Ramondre seizing more of a role. They got to see what they have in Gibson, so we'd like to see him out there. This price tag's coming down enough, so we'll take him here in a New England bet. All right, give the kids what they want. Yeah, they just want me to see me be upset, see me suffer. Hurts me. Oh, he's back at practice? Okay, good. I didn't see that. So shout out to Andy here. Back at practice. I stand corrected. We are live for McCarthy or Darnold as well. This guy is just scooping the fucking QBs here. Please tell me. You know what? He's got correlation. He's got single correlation with all of them. I do feel like, though, watching this guy draft, like, this is where you are when you're an unbadged drafter. It's like you're doing some nice things, but you're making bets that just, like, aren't all the way there. So for him, like, so you get Deshaun Watson, you get Jerry Jeudy in the finals. That's okay. You get Geno and you get Lockett in the finals. That's okay. You get Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans in the finals. That's obviously okay. But it's a weaker bet compared to like these guys with their stack partners. His hope would be that like Tyreek and Nico are coming over the top, Zay Flowers as well. But it's still one of those things where it's like, I do like his team, but I think if he were a little bit smarter, he would make more of a concentrated bet with some bringbacks, with some correlation. And instead, he's just ruining my team with his. So I'm mad about it, but it's not a bad team, honestly. It's just, it feels like one of those teams where he also needs more RBs. He's taken 2 RBs. So that's where, like, again, you're outthinking yourself. You're making a bad bet. What is his fucking build? Does he have like a 2-2 fucking 9? He's got a 3-2-9-1 build. So that's why his team looked good, is because he has 9 receivers and they're all in the first 130 picks. That's not good. Never mind. But that's the kind of thing, though, you do as an unbadged drafter. It's like you're doing a few things that are smart and you're missing, oh, yeah, I also have to take RBs. Oh, yeah, I don't have to just take every QB that loosely correlates with me. And that's what he's doing there. So fuck him. Never mind. God damn it. That's too many guys. Too many guys. Very 2021 best ball from the 4-hole. Yeah, that's it. Chargers RBs have no set number 1. Love Dobbins at his value. I mean, right now it seems like it's Dobbins and Edwards. Like that seems like that's pretty set. And then Patterson again filling in for Edwards right now. But yeah, it's just if you take every wide receiver and you take every QB, your team will look okay. You do have to have running backs at some point, though. And I'll say that was a mistake in my portfolio early on, was I thought 0 RB, I could really play it fast and loose. And it's like, no, you do. Like, you can go less RBs. You can start your run later. But you still do have to go on a run, and you still have to get those guys in at a certain draft capital. Otherwise, your draft capital buckets are completely misaligned, and you're going to end up with a team that sucks more for it. That's really never where you want to be. But who am I? What do I know? I'm just a 4-time DK. Fucking Drake Mangoes, too? Oh. Well, the good news is last year's BBM winner got sniped a lot as well. So we got that going for us. Holy fucking fuckity fuck. Yeah, every out is going. It's going to be unstacked Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be our 1 QB. Oh, this room is so stupid. Just unbadged drafters doing fucking idiocy. Sacrificing me at the altar of stupidity. Meanwhile, I'm just here with diamond hands, willing to take any QB. Any QB who throws me a wink and a smile. Now I'm going to have to fucking go unstacked at QB. Motherfuckers. And this is why you don't take fucking, to tie it all together, this is why you don't take luxury Brock Bowers. This is the big lesson. If you take luxury Brock Bowers, you're just going to be fucked on the back end. Quite literally. Honestly, maybe a Brissett Darnold bet. Maybe we just do, why not, right? Just do the chalk, the median outcome bet in one build. And if not, we have Trevor Lawrence there all year. Look, I love doing the fucking tack it on Derek Carr bullshit. But let's just do something weird. Let's do something weird. Brissett, you're one of my picks. This guy better not take Sam Darnold or else we're completely screwed. Takes Jonnu. All right. $20 lost or a team that'll be carried by unstacked Trevor Lawrence. Sam Darnold, your QB3. So Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Brissett, Sam Darnold are the QBs. I apologize for not servicing the audio listeners, but this has been a hellscape of getting sniped. David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, Gus Edwards, Ty Chandler, Antonio Gibson. We have a receiver, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, JSN, Dontavian Wicks, and Demario Douglas. And Trey McBride and Brock Bowers is our tight end. So got sniped to death on tight end. Or on fucking QB. We are now trying to just play that the current starters remain the starters for the rest of their lives. That's how it goes. Fucking not at this fucking rate. You want another draft? I got another draft for you. How about on Drafters tomorrow at promo code SPLASH, $100 deposit match. I'll be drafting on there tomorrow at 11 a.m. Go ahead and come to that one. Fucking after this shit. Why? I'm not getting baited into this shit again. Unbelievable. No, you assume logical. You have that backwards. For the gambling part of this, assume logical drafting. Squeeze values out of rooms. At least if there are picks that you still want to have that are where you are. If there were guys on the board where I'm like, I don't see the value in this at all, then yeah, like I can make that pick there. But in general, like I don't necessarily want to be in situations where I don't know. I don't want to be in situations where I'm forcing QB too early. If there's stuff I like and there's going to be ways to make my team better, I want to make my team better. It's always going to be how I feel about that. Clearly, it's not always going to work out for me, but it's always how I feel about that. And we got to look at exposures coming up. Who knows? Fuckity fuck. Oh, let's see. What else can we do here? And for the record, I do think taking Bryce Young would have been valid as well. But we have the week 16 correlation versus Arizona. I don't know. I could live with one bet on BBM having Jacoby Brissett and Sam Darnold. Not going to do this bet frequently on stream. So don't worry about that. Fucking hilarious. I'm glad it's hilarious. I'm glad, look, if my suffering is going to hurt my portfolio, I hope it makes for quality content, if nothing else. That has long been the promise and the hope of Splash Play, and I agree with that. Happy Friday, we got Tyler. Appreciate you, Tyler. Appreciate all you guys being here live, and we'll see if we have a second draft or not. It all comes down to what last pick I get. If it's a good last pick, second draft. If it's not a good last pick, I go, no thank you. And I leave. Had a draft like that this morning. Drafted AOC and Penix in a 3 QB build. Yeah, that's tough. Penix would be a bridge too far for me. Think you'd have to get a little bit lucky with that one. And by lucky, I mean Kirk Cousins not fucking going down. Also, I don't know if I actually read this news item. Kirk Cousins was a full go in practice, unlikely to play in the preseason. So if you're playing preseason DFS, don't expect to get your Kirk Cousins sacks. Also, I don't want to spoil it, but don't leave because I'm already in a draft room. And so I'm going to do a second draft today, picking in the 11 hole in that one coming up in a moment here. But fucking, I had to ensure no draft stalker in a room this week. So we're doing it. Second draft coming up after this pick. Good or bad, whatever this pick is, I'm going to be doing another draft. And then we'll review my exposures and we'll have fun with that. No squad draft. I'll squad draft you. You could do one in the overflow if you want. The clock is ticking in that other draft. In this room, I think I know what I'm doing. One of these two moves. Depending on what this dipshit picks. I shouldn't call him a dipshit. I'm sure he's a lovely human being. The only one who's a dipshit was the 104 hole. What was his final team? 4 RBs, DeAndre Swift, Jerome Ford, Braylon Allen, Deonta Foreman. A hyper-fragile build at RB that doesn't do a lot for him. We're going to tag Bigsby for my build. We're going to get our 6th RB in. We've got 7 receivers, pretty good draft capital there, and some guys who are normally valued a little bit higher. So final team here before we move to a new draft. 3 QBs that I all wanted dearly. Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Brissett, and Sam Darnold. We've got David Montgomery. God damn it. I have to make a pick in another draft. Come on. Help me out, Underdog. Got David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, Gus Edwards, Ty Chandler, Antonio Gibson, Tank Bigsby. RB room's perfectly fine for me. Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, JSN, Dontavian Wicks, and Demario Douglas. Of course, we got sniped on Drake May, but we got Jacoby Brissett. And Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, on to another draft. It's a weirdo start here. This is why we do this. No draft stalker and Breece Hall at the 101. Let's go. Christian McCaffrey, 102. By the time I pick in the 11 hole, the trickle down will be me getting sniped on Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, if I had to guess. But we'll see. Rooting for me to get my elusive pairing at the 11th spot. Oh, fuck. Please jinx me. Do a bulldog. Yeah, do a bulldog. Do your big money one. You're never going to find me in a bulldog. Find me in my broke ass. So fingers crossed we found some blue sky. But I'll have more to talk about that with probably, and it's a fucking never-ending quest to get one check-in to allow me to sustain my glorious lifestyle here and build the company out. Label that draft. At least my tight ends are good. I think that was a great team. I think we did a lot with it. Shit, I feel like Shiv's just going to take Puka. I'm not even going to get a shot. Fucking... I'm in tune with the world. I'm also in tune with me just getting fucked in the butt just over and over again. Do we add to the Garrett Wilson, Cozy Blanky? Do we take more Marvin Harrison anyway? Drake London? I think today is the day we get a Garrett Wilson share. We start the draft with me unenthusiastic. Garrett Wilson here at receiver. My Garrett Wilson shares normally when I do have them are pretty potent because I know I'm not going to have a lot of them necessarily. I've got Garrett Wilson with Breece Hall on one team. Not going to have that today because he wanted the 101. But Garrett Wilson is the pick for me here. Oh, reaching for the Olave Adams correlation. A unique pairing there for sure. At this point, I'd be fine with Harrison or London. I've got a lot of both. Don't want to reach for Debo. I don't want to reach for anything to up my exposure yet too much in these early parts of rounds. I'm going to make sure this guy doesn't get Puka and Harrison because I can't have that happen in my face as well. It happens enough here. I can't believe it. Team is Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison, which feels like a unique-ish combo, at least for me. For the Astroglide, thank you, Robert Griffin III. I appreciate you for it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yesterday was the most, if you want to watch yesterday's stream, you can watch just the first 5 minutes. Not getting Harrison and Puka in that build where I got Puka at 11, the guy took Jahmyr Gibbs first, and then he takes Marvin Harrison. That was the worst. That one cut the deepest. But the good news is new drafts here every Monday to Friday doing BBMs and Monday to Saturday overall. So if you want to watch me get sniped on Marvin Harrison and Puka Nacua, and it's not sniped. You want to watch me just not get a combo that's vaguely not unique, but fucking happens in every draft room for everybody besides me. Please subscribe and hit the like button and leave a comment. Your engagements go a long way here. I can't believe I can't get this Puka Harrison combo. I have like 70 drafts left. I've done more than 50% of my drafts, and I have not gotten this combo once. It is unbelievable, is what it is. Got it once on the big board before knowing there was a game for them in week 17. Pretend Garrett Wilson is Puka for the rest of the draft. I would like him a lot more. I wouldn't speak ill of him. I'd go, I'm so proud of you, Garrett Wilson. Instead, no. I have to go Garrett Wilson through gritted teeth. Why don't I like Garrett Wilson if you're new to the stream? Fucking Tank Dell at 24. This is stupid. This guy is not doing good drafting. This exact draft that literally the exact draft he's taken from the 101, you can have at the 112. You can have at the 111. You can have anywhere else that's not at the 101. The worst possible thing to reach. No good. No good. 30 drafts and I have 3 Puka Marv, you son of a bitch. That's 10%. He's got more exposure than the field will have to a single player. He has of a combo that I can't get one. I have 0 in 81 drafts. I have to update the banner too. I'm going to remember to do it today. Here, let's update the banner. BBM number 81. Stream draft number 144. I figure about another 25 drafts, and I have set the record for stream drafts in a year. So stay tuned, Guinness Book of World Records. But that's how I'm going to justify not having Sheriff Puka and Marvin Harrison. Just peed my pants, LOL. There we go. Got a bag of Puka and Marv too. Everybody does. Everybody in the world does besides me. It's honestly, there are a lot of times, look, we can all spiral out of control, get a little bit crazy sometimes. There's nothing that makes me feel more like I'm being conspired against by the world than what is going on to me right now with Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison. There's been a lot of injustices done to me over the years. This is the worst. It's the worst. And I can see all my exposures clearly, including my lack of Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison together, thanks to bestballoverlay.com. So check it out at bestballoverlay.com. You can see the data here on the screen, week 16, week 17 matchups, along with my exposures. And you can update them. It's very easy to use on your laptop. And even, I think, a couple tablets out there. So check it out at bestballoverlay.com. My madness turned into plugs. Why, I've gone certainly mad. That's my mad laugh. That's my I've gone mad laugh. Fucking DJ Moore goes to 34. Always great when I can't get Puka and Marvin Harrison. The value just gets sucked out of the room along the way. Laporta, a fine pick normally. Kelsey, I still have not a single share of because I hate him. We'll scoop the ever so slight Michael Pittman discount and try to be happy with it. God. These rooms, man. Give me DJ Moore at 35. Give me a little taste of some nice value going my way. I deserve love, appreciation. We do have Garrett Wilson. I think this is one of the issues with my Garrett Wilson teams is it does make me more inclined to go Josh Allen. We're going to go Josh Allen here, though. So Josh Allen, still technically a 0 RB Friday team here with Josh Allen at QB. Garrett Wilson, of course, our Week 17 bring back. Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman Jr., team full of juniors, even though Marvin Harrison lost his junior along the way. Lost it in transit. He lost it going to Ellis Island. Drake May thought I wanted him last draft. That's my thought. Still think he's not a great play right now, honestly. His inaccuracy is going to make it really hard for him to win that job in camp. He went 10-12 yesterday in camp, so he's been accurate so far, but overall, his inaccuracy is going to rear its head more often than not. I just think Brissett starts the year. I think the team has a shot to be hovering around 500 or not want to go Drake May's way until their bye week, which is week 14. And if you get Drake May sitting for 14 weeks, you are in trouble. So I think May plays next year, but more towards the back part of the year. And that's not a pick I want a lot of unless I'm dead at QB like I was last draft. And then it didn't work out. So I think he's talented enough. He runs, he throws deep. Those are all you really want in a QB, running and throwing deep. You have accuracy, easier to see the field running and throwing deep. But he's raw. He's like Josh Allen raw coming in. I think he's treated as though he's more refined. He's been better trained than Josh Allen, but he's similar amounts of raw, honestly. Paying and requesting a brief 2-year Mike Gesicki overview in 2024 take. Bearish on talent and mattering, but want a temp check. His usage seems like the thing they're running with the first team. Talk of him being a big slot by the beat reporters from whatever sources they have on the team. I think there's good signal for him. I think he's a viable 18th round pick now. If he comes up, if he has a Noah Fant-like rise, starts to get a little bit questionable there, but legit Tanner Hudson is nobody. People will think he's good. He is nobody, and he was good in that offense last year. And especially, too, with my disbelief in Higgins, Chase holding out now. We'll see how that affects things. Those are two guys kind of in business for themselves. A receiver, having a tight end who's playing for his viability in the future, who has in the past had the ability to be a pass catcher, I think works. So Gesicki works. Why do I hate Kelce? I don't hate Kelce. I think that it's a much more crowded wide receiver room, a much more crowded tight end room, bringing in Jared Wiley to take pressure off them. You still have Noah Gray there. And you also have Kelce being distracted this year. He's got the podcast. He's traveling with his girlfriend. He's also, who's also a fucking billionaire pop star. He's also doing a TV show for Ryan Murphy. Doing too much. A lot of things that come together that, again, this take makes me feel like the fantasy counselor, but it does make me feel like his attention isn't all the way there in a year where they wanted to ramp him down anyway. You got a lot of guys you can go to. If Rashee Rice isn't suspended, those targets go to Kelce. They run the same route tree. You have Worthy's going to run a lot of that McCole Hardman, Kadarius Toney kind of stuff underneath. That also takes away from Kelce a little bit if he's good. Having a guy like Marquise Brown, if he can be back to what he was before, having him downfield, going to be at the very least an upgrade on MVS, an upgrade on Justin Watson, but also could be a thing that sucks opportunity away from Kelce. So spike weeks are still there for him. I just think he's mispriced. I think he should be more that Mark Andrews here. He should be in that, like, all right, you got to come down a little bit because we know what your ceiling is, and we know you're likely going to start coming back down this way a little bit. I think both Andrews and Kelce, we've seen the best, and now we're going to see a little bit less than the best. For Kincaid, for McBride, for Laporta, you have not seen their ceiling yet because they're year 2, year 3 guys. So that's the bet. Love Gesicki for tight end 3. You can often get free. A little worried Eric All takes over. He's hurt, though, and he's on the NFI to start. So Eric All is too big, too. He's one of those guys, more Darnell Washington size, but he's a guy that I think might be a little too big to get full-time route work. But he was good at Iowa, but every Iowa tight end, it feels like, is good. Oh, good. Got a Puka Mar from the 8 hole. All right, so you reached for Puka a little bit and still got unfucking real. People getting it everywhere. I vocalize my complaints enough. People don't like when I complain too much. They like when I complain just enough. So we're calling it out. Andy Reid also said they're going to limit his regular season snaps, keep him fresh. Yeah, and Kelce has said that's what they're going to do with him as well. There's enough signal that we're talking like maybe a 50 to 60% of the time on the field guy. And again, more competition for targets. Still think he's going to be a great red zone target. Still think he's going to do a lot of good stuff. As far as that offense goes, and especially that offense too. Like, I think people want to see deep balls from KC. They're probably going to see 5 a game. The rest of the game is going to be still underneath routes to Rashee Rice, Kelce, Worthy, Toney maybe out of the backfield. Rashad White at 57. People buying in on him. Bucky Irving's working with the first team, guys. Everything we've predicted is coming true. Hollywood back at 58. Really don't think, I personally don't think Rashee Rice should flip him, but it's happening. We got Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman. We can really alpha stack up Buffalo, but I think we'd want to stick with the 0 RB stuff. Jaden Reed, I am low in exposure. Would have made more sense with that last team, unfortunately. But we'll go Jaden here. No issue with Jaden at this spot. A little bit after ADP. Maybe a slight discount for him starting on the NFI list. Who knows? The team so far, Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, and Jaden Reed. Obviously, if Kincaid had come back, would have been tempting, but Kincaid went at 48 here to the guy with Lamar, who I guess really wanted. He's just going off the beaten path is what he's doing at the 1 hole. Bad team. But the Kincaid and Lamar stuff, perfectly fine by him. All right, next pick here. Got the 4 receivers. Getting 5 would be nice. Cook at 62 doesn't feel too bad, though. And I do anticipate adding more Buffalo receivers later on. So let's keep some receiver flexibility. Let's go James Cook here. So James Cook ends the 0 RB run in round 6, which people who are nickel and dimers may contend it's not a true 0 RB team. The first team was, so we got that on 0 RB Friday. Josh Allen, James Cook, hero / 0 RB. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman Jr., Jaden Reed. Obviously would have been considering Christian Watson a little bit more to set up a Green Bay stack. We have Josh Allen, and I do think in that range where Love goes, we probably want some Buffalo receivers more. So that's how we're going to play this instead. Amazing squad as always. Love the Cook Allen stack. Hey, we're not done there yet, but appreciate you, Big Sonny. They're going to do a fun Buffalo stack today with Garrett Wilson coming back, so I'm happy to have it. Threw in my mouth every time I drafted White so far. Look, I should take some Rachaad White. I just don't think he should be going at a premium. Rachaad White, like Kenneth Walker, should be going down to the 70s. Like, those are guys that have some performance issues the previous year. For Walker, we saw what they were firsthand. We saw that they didn't want to have him out there for pass downs quite as much. His usage came down as they trusted Charbonnet more. Assume this new coaching regime is going to be similar in Seattle. It's an ambiguous backfield, so could go either way. For Tampa Bay, we have a new OC there, so Rachaad White, coming down, that's a possibility. It's a little ambiguous there with the new OC, even though same head coach. But I think for Rachaad White, it's like all the signal was about how they wanted more burst, wanted guys who can make guys miss in space, wanted guys who can catch passes and be great after the catch. Those are things Rachaad White is not. So I think Rachaad White, he's valid as like a play that becomes on the field because basically he can pass protect more. He's a bigger bodied guy. But I think this room knows what they want. And Liam Cohen, he's connected to Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving and Bucky Irving's coach and Liam Cohen worked together at some point. There was some diary of Bucky Irving on the Bucs, basically, which he was really bad, honestly. Really poorly written diary of Bucky Irving with his first few days with the Bucs. Basically, he got in the Bucs because Liam Cohen was connected with his college coach in some way, and that resulted in him knowing him well and thinking he's the kind of guy that could change that offense. And then he's with the first team in the first 2 days of camp. Like, Bucky's getting really good signals. So White should pay an ADP tax for that, but he's not paying that tax yet. So that's really how I feel about White. Still think he's a viable draft pick, even though I haven't taken him once. I just think he needs to come down. If he comes down, I'll do it. Performance issues, give him a blue chew. Talk about something I need. I mean, to plug, to be clear. Not, maybe both, honestly, at this point. London left practice because he was overheated, allegedly. All right, good. Let's keep him healthy. I feel like for Atlanta, and this always spooks me a little bit about teams that have not gotten there yet. With Kirk not playing in the preseason, with this Drake London being overheated, let's make sure all the guys are out there practicing a little bit. Would not shock me to see Atlanta start slow with this too. If let's say let's say London's out, Pitts misses some time, whatever, in training camp. I think they're treating themselves like a championship contending team already, which I get given their talent, but you haven't done anything to be a championship contending team. And you kind of want to see that in practice, want to see that in preseason before, it happens. But they're going to be risk averse, I think, which I certainly get as well. I would love to plug a blue. I would love to plug anything that's got guaranteed money at this point. Speaking of drafters, guys, drafters tomorrow. If you want to support the show, the best way to do it is to hit that join button down below for $4.99 a month and get a VIP Discord, 10 team reviews a month for me, and also my rankings that get updated weekly for Underdog. You can export them and use them on the site if you want. But also for drafters, great way to support the show as well because I could fucking touch that money right away, basically. So go to drafters.com, use the promo code SPLASH on there, and a great site to play on. No pods, no playoff pods. That luck component goes away. More about your skills. You draft a total points team. And honestly, again, just being in draft rooms, not having to worry about competing against the teams that are sniping you to fucking death left and right, I think is a big positive of drafters as well. So check it out at drafters.com, drafters.com. Kenneth Walker at 80, a.k.a. where Rachaad White should be. But that's neither here nor there, right? How do I like your team? The 3-hole. I mean, are you going to do a super chat for this? This isn't for free. You're doing okay as long as you make sure to hit receiver, not for a while. Hit RB. But fine enough team. Hope you get your guys and don't get sniped on them. All right, we're on the clock here, and I've been missing the entire time. Ramondre's the pick. Yay, we got it in. Week 16 correlation for Ramondre. I was too busy reading chats. We got it. Hey, knock yourself out, Gamblestein. Though you knock yourself out more if you become a paying member again. Paying members can enter drafts. Non-paying members, I go thumbs down. But you're fine. I don't know DFC, but I hope he's having a good draft for himself. Happy to be nice to new people. Anyway, 1-2-4-0 build here. Keon Coleman went. Really, I guess Keon Coleman goes in the 80s except when I want to do it. So no Keon Coleman on this team. But obviously, we'll see what this guy does. Go Lancers. All right, thank God. He goes Addison. We will get Curtis Samuel here. Slight ADP reach. Could also keep going RB, but we want to make sure to get the Buffalo stack going. So we've got Curtis Samuel here to round out our receiver room. Wide receiver 5 in the first 90 picks. So we're in a good spot with that. Perfect rule of thumb, by the way, in general. First 75 picks, your first 5 receivers is a good place to start. At the very least, 5 receivers in your first 100. That should be the goalpost to hit in every draft. Again, talking about structural things and the importance of that. 1-2-5-0 build here. We got Josh Allen, James Cook, Ramondre as our RBs. So some correlation right away for New England and Buffalo, and also Buffalo and the Jets. We got Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Jaden Reed, Curtis Samuel, and no tight end yet. And Mr. knew the move coming right away. Had to get Curtis Samuel. You definitely would like to still get the Buffalo double. Unclear if Shakir will come back, but we'll see. Who wants to bet Rachaad White outscores James Cook? Not a bet I would make, but it's got to be volume. It's got to be volume for him. It's not going to be efficiency. Also, people too for Rachaad White, one defense I've seen, just because it's still top of mind, that I don't think I've talked about before. People defend Rachaad White and go, oh, the O-line was so bad last year. First of all, O-line doesn't affect your avoided tackles. In fact, guys like Jaylen Warren, who had a regressed O-line last year, his avoided tackles were still at like 33%. So he kept that year to year because he's a good fucking running back. Good running backs still avoid tackles. Second part of it is like that O-line actually didn't allow a lot of pressure last year out of Baker Mayfield. He was like towards the better end of being in clean pockets more often than not. So I would say to people, too, that want to defend Rachaad White with that one, it's like, A, he still had no fucking juice. And B, the O-line was at least good in pass pro, which does kind of go hand in hand with being good in the run game, too. Like, your skills in O-line obviously is different, run game versus pass game. But for the most part, if the O-line's okay defending, a QB, protecting a QB, they're going to be able to get some amount of push in the run game as well. So just one other defense of Rachaad White that people kick out a lot. And it's like, I don't think that's it either. Anyway, enough of Rachaad White bashing for one day. If you like him, I hope you're right. I mean, I don't really. I hope I'm right. But, but I hope it works out well enough for you that you feel like it wasn't a total busto pick. Mr. Popinski in here. Appreciate that. Cook got like 0 touchdown upside. I just don't agree with that. I think Ray Davis will come in a certain amount, but if Cook is playing well, you're going to keep him out there and give him the work, and there is still the potential for him to break big plays, which he does have a good amount of explosive plays. It's one of the good things that he does add to the table. So he's got to get luckier on, those plays converting to touchdowns. But, he's still viable. Fucking Romeo Dobbs. This guy in the one hole. This guy in the one hole is creating so much value for everybody who's not me. But he is just reaching for everybody. And you can reach a little bit at the turn. Sometimes you have to because you're not going to get some guys coming back. But he's been reaching from day one for picks that make no fucking sense. It's really not a good team in the 101. He's at least leveling out his draft capital a little bit, but not for me. Brock Bowers at 100. Really nothing to say about that. I quietly plan a flag for wherever Brock Bowers is going. Feels like he's got a band that could move up a little bit higher. But the Cam steam hasn't really been there for him. And nobody's really high on Vegas anyway. And receiver, by the way, not helping the stock for Las Vegas, I'm sure. That show on Netflix. So Brock's sticking at 100. Probably going to be the case. The dart throw Buffalo wide receivers I'd take a stab at. I talked about KJ Hamler earlier in the video. Apparently looking good with his speed at camp. It's the kind of thing they don't have in that receiver room. So maybe Hamler in the 18th, but I would rather take one of the more binary outcomes here, which we'll see if we get it back. Cook's a home run hitter, perfect for best ball. I agree. He's got some fumbling issues. Should be more involved in the pass game. And that's going to be tough with Josh Allen being mobile. Khalil Shakir here is the pick. Obviously, he's the one I wanted to get back. Again, really puffy piece about him in the Athletic, which I enjoyed seeing. I'm somebody that likes Khalil Shakir. Really efficient last year. Top guy in EPA amongst people that played an actually viable amount. So Khalil Shakir to me, happy to have him. One risk for him is that he's playing primarily out of the slot. He's going to run up against Dalton Kincaid a little bit. Curtis Samuel, a certain amount of the time as well, going to run into him. But still, very talented, I think. Small, but talented. All right, this guy takes Singletary, who I wouldn't have minded getting here. Need to make it up at RB a little bit. Unfortunately, this is not a great pocket to make it up at RB. But we pretty much have to. You know what? We have the little New England bet already with Ramondre. I'll get Gus again. Really think Gus, to me, as long as he could stay healthy, I think he's going to get a lot of fucking touchdowns, the Chargers offense. In fact, if I had to make a bet on the Chargers, my bet would be the most fantasy viable player on the Chargers. Well, if I can get two, if I get a two-pronged bet in this hypothetical situation, it would be that one of Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins is like a beast at ADP. I really think this team's going to run the ball a lot. I think Gus is the beneficiary, but if Dobbins recovers and has the health recovery that a lot of people think is impossible, Dobbins is a better, more talented back. But one of these two guys, I really do think, I think it's going to hit. I think it's going to hit big. The more that camp goes on, I think one of these guys is going to hit. I personally would favor Gus. Obviously, the ADPs do as well. Just the lack of injury concern a little bit more. And Gus is just huge. Like, they had one video of these guys running drills, just like the traditional, hopping over the pads drills. And like Gus is fucking enormous, man. And that's the kind of thing, like, for a power back, like Harbaugh and Roman are going to fucking cream themselves, just having the shot to give the ball to Gus again, for Roman. And for Harbaugh, having the first time to be able to do that. He's just power running personified. Pearsall at 116 when he hasn't played in camp and is coming down is such a bad pick. I hate to only point out really bad picks because I don't pay enough attention to people doing just good stuff in draft rooms. Like the guy in the 3-hole who asked earlier, his team's perfectly fine. I don't notice somebody doing a perfectly fine overall operation. But for me in these kind of spots, reaching for guys that the news is pushing the exact opposite way and the guy hasn't been in camp doing anything. One of the worst things you can do for your team. He's not a bad drafter, so he maybe hasn't been through the ringer enough. But that is one of the most crucial things I will say to you guys watching the stream is just being in tune with what's going on at a given time period and knowing when you reach for a guy and when you don't. You reach for a guy when he's underpriced because there's some signal that makes him sound good. When Kyron is working with the third team or, working third downs rather last year, when Puka's getting involved with the first team, getting all the breakfast hype, start taking Puka in round 17 instead of round 18. Do that kind of approach. Not one where the guy is on NFI list coming back next week and hasn't shown anything. You don't take him at 116 then. 30 pick swing. So big. I don't know why I'm so passionate about this today, but it's just there's a lot of people watching and these are the things that kill your portfolio. Unequivocally. Casuals have entered. Well, there's a lot of signal for that, for sure. But that's one of them. Can't see Gus doing it for the entirety of the season, but I get him for the first weeks. What is he going to lose a job to? Kamani Vidal, who's not a power back. There's nobody else there who's a power back. That's why Jarrett Patterson is playing with the first team. So, his opportunity is that Jamal Williams in Detroit kind of opportunity, that David Montgomery. I don't mean to only name Detroit, but it's that kind of opportunity. Every time they get into the red zone, they're going to be punishing it with probably Gus Edwards. Maybe Dobbins. Dobbins is a great red zone back too. But you're going to make the bets, the guy who got a decent contract, not the guy who got $50K guaranteed. Oh, if only the draft for Puka and Marv, if only. I think we've salvaged a good Buffalo team here, so I'm happy with that. Who are my favorite round 8 and round 9 RBs on a 0 RB team? I mean, honestly, any of them, really. Connor, probably one of them exposure-wise. Brooks for the upside. Moss is coming down, so I would say that he should probably be more of a round 9 back. I like the Tennessee guys. I've been heaviest on Brian Robinson, though. He's been eluding me a lot in drafts lately. Any of them are good. If I had to really give you a top 3, Connor, Brian Robinson, Tennessee guys collectively. One of them, in a draft. Sometimes 2. Out of round 11 guys, it's Chase Brown. Wildly undervalued in round 11 is Chase Brown. Pearsall Falls drafting there is egregious. That's, and that was my main point. It's it doesn't mean this guy's a fucking idiot or whatever, though he's reaching for Darnell Mooney too. Just a little too much reaching kills your profile, but in particular for guys where there's just no reason to do it. There's no signal giving you a reason to do it. And in fact, it's going the opposite way. Just really does hurt your team. Okay, so we have Josh Allen, but we do need more RBs, so we do have a hero RB build technically. Jerome Ford makes this team stronger, I think, by a good amount. We're going to go Jerome Ford for this first pick. Obviously, I am team Marshawn Lloyd, but I think we have to lessen the Lloyd exposure a little bit more. I'm at 40%-ish. Would like to get that closer to 33. Have some optionality for him. Are you fucking kidding me, Charles? Are you really fucking asking me this question? On today of all days, are you asking me? I have none. Please rewind the video. It's a core bit of the show right now that I've known, and it's impossible for me to get it. It's great fun. Making the Indianapolis bet without AR is kind of interesting, given that AD Mitchell is falling about a dozen picks here. But I think we could use Lloyd more. We do have the bet on Green Bay. We'll go Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd, RB5. We need to make it up a tight end. Need to get another QB in. We're okay, though. Team so far is a 1-5-6-0. We have Josh Allen as the QB, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Gus Edwards, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd is the RB room right now. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman Jr., Jaden Reed, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir are here as our Buffalo triple, technically, with James Cook. Happy with the team so far. Need to get QB2 right. We have the Buffalo Jets stack for week 17. Feels good. Have some week 16 Oppo correlation with New England. Got a little bit of New England Charger stuff. I was thinking Justin Herbert might be an option, but he went here, which is perfectly fine. So we shall see. I do have Puka and MHA in the big board. I have at least one of those in the big board, yes. But that's before week 17. That's before we knew, and those guys were priced where they are. So it's more insane I don't have it now. I want to bring down my Lloyd exposure, Draft Lloyd. Again, he's mispriced. I want to bring it down, but I want to bring it down because like he has now reached a price point that I think is a little rich for my blood. He's still too good of a play in this spot. Like he and Bucky Irving have some similar things to them, I think, where I see more than the public does in terms of the signal that's been there. But like I think there's more signal than the public thinks for both guys. Kendra going at ADP for this dude. Gotta let Kendra fall a little. I feel like Puka MHJ is chalk, but it could win you the playoffs if correlated right. I mean, it's week 17. That's it. It's the equivalent of CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra last year. Two really good players in really good spots who should be competing in week 17 for teams that are competitive and trying to win their division or make the playoffs. It's got everything you want. So it's a great combo to have. Obviously, at this point, with me having 81 drafts done and not a share of it, at a certain point, if I don't get it, I'm going to be more intelligent for wagering against that being the outcome and maybe going for, Puka and Michael Wilson and Trey McBride, doing it that way, though I do have some of that stuff. Or doing Harrison with Kupp and Kyron kind of stuff. Like if you can't get a combo and a lot of people are getting it, you then either have to try to get it, go out of your way to get it. And that's when you can't really go out of your way to get. You're either going to get it or not. Or you just go the opposite way and try to lever against it. So at a certain point, I probably have to lever against it. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, though. I want to bring down my Puka MHA exposure. It feels so gross. Having so many, again, should never feel gross. Winning combo. You're seeing firsthand. It's still unique, more unique than you think. Don't look the gift horse in the mouse for good combos. In the mouth, not in the mouse. You can look him in the mouse all you want. Josh Downs at 151. Feels weird. This guy scooped the Indy duo cheap. Where's the AR drafter? AR drafter fucking asleep at the wheel. He's the one reaching for everybody else while passing up AR's receivers. What a bad player. Just a really bad draft out of the 105. You take AR ahead of ADP, make a bet on AR, pair pass catchers with him. Instead, he's too busy reaching for Ricky Pearsall. He could have gotten Pearsall here. Like he could have gotten AD Mitchell and Josh Downs and Pearsall. Ugh, awful. Sorry if this guy watches the stream, but like read something. Read a thing. Watch a thing. Gee whiz. But I hope the new deposit cash was good for him. All right. Picks coming up here. A lot of QBs here, and fucking none of them do shit for me. Story of my life. I mean, at this point, we just have to set up a backdoor. You know what? I think there is something kind of fun we can do. 30 pick discount Tua is the right price Tua. We're taking Tua Tagovailoa here. And bear with me. Don't really need the 6-star B. but I think that makes sense to do with taking Tua here. All right. Or Jonnu. Is Jonnu going to come back in this fucking room? I hope he does. All right, I'm going to go Jalen Wright for RB6 here. Yeah, I'm going to go Jalen Wright for RB6 here. This is going to be a weird one, guys, but bear with me. I feel like we have a good base now. I'm going to try to make it work with another QB because my outs at QB are non-existent. We have Buffalo. Obviously, you already have the QB there. Green Bay, Jordan Love's gone. Pittman's gone. Kyler's gone. Aaron Rodgers, we don't really want to do because we have the same game for week 17. So we're getting a hugely discounted Tua instead, and we're going to build a weirdo backdoor Miami build. So it's gonna be a really weird Miami one. So strap in. But that's the goal here. You heard take naked AR somewhere. Again, anytime, like it really just takes the player hitting with his receiver fucking 5 to 8 times over the course of a year, which is going to happen for any QB if they actually are paying off a top 50 ADP. Smash the like. I almost forgot. Yeah, Dylan's correct here, guys. Please hit the like button. Your likes go a long way here, of course. 2 drafts for me here today on Zero RB Friday, and your support does go a long way. Me as a solo proprietor here, I just show up and do the work here all week long, Monday to Saturday. But I do the work here for week 16, week 17 as well. For some reason, that was what I was going to say initially. But please subscribe down below, hit the like button. I appreciate it a bunch here. And again, your likes go a long way. Helps me fight the algorithm here and a very competitive best ball space where a lot of people do content and, a lot of great content is out there as well. But, I think mine's really cool and great. Nifty. Bestballoverlay.com, another plug. You want to get the data on your screen that I have here, including my exposures, the week 16, week 17 matchups, even the game totals for those. Plus some data you could research on the back end as well at bestballoverlay.com. Check it out, bestballoverlay.com. Use promo code SPLASH to get $10 off. And, hey, if you want to play DFS, Stochastic, do that. But Drafters is the big one, though. Promo code SPLASH on Drafters. Check that out. And same thing on Underdog. Promo code SPLASH. Splashing all over the gosh darn place. Ray Davis at 166. He needs to start coming up. What are you? Generic Prince at 167? Oh, you're a red badge, man. You have some pride. Have some pride in your draft. My goodness. You don't need generic Prince with all these guys. I hope that's a star method thing. Anyway, Ray Davis, way too cheap, given that he's already getting signal from the team talking about him like he's been crowned the power back of the team. If you don't have James Cook, take Ray Davis. I would say, honestly, James Cook or Ray Davis in every draft, you could make the case for. The Buffalo's going to have enough TDs getting soaked up by Josh Allen. It can not work out perfectly, but really do think Ray Davis undervalued, especially going this late. Generic Prince, not the pick at 167 would be the flip side of that. Take Ray Davis. Woof. Ray Davis in every draft. I know you like Ray Davis. I like Ray Davis. ADP shouldn't be out the window. This is not the time. Late August, throw ADP out the window when you have news nobody else does because you're paying so much attention to every training camp report. Do that in August. July, you don't know enough. Slight boost to guys. People in the draft need to touch grass these reaches. I mean, they're having fun. Maybe they're touching too much grass. Red badge means nothing anymore. With how long Underdog has been out, yeah, it's 1,000 drafts. Enough people have done 1,000 drafts. So, yeah, but I would like to believe if you invest that much in the platform, you want to get better at it, fundamentally, my belief. Troy Franklin quietly working with the first team a little bit in Denver. I don't know if it's a frequent thing, but he was getting some first team reps. So, good signal for you with Troy Franklin. And I didn't put it in the training camp news up top, but good signal for Audric Estime as well. Looked like a bruiser in camp yesterday. Every reporter walked away somewhat wowed by him, called him a monster. Estime looking good. Javonte looking slimmer, looking good as well. But Estime is doing what he's got to do. My boys are doing what they got to do. They need new badges. I don't want to make another chasm between people. Like, I'm glad for it. I don't know. You could honestly just show how many drafts a person has done at this point. Why not? But it doesn't matter. I guess maybe it would help your advantage by knowing you're in a room with like actual sharp drafters. But even then, who knows? At this point, people might have 10,000 drafts and like not a lot of good teams. All right, we have no tight ends, so we need to fix that. All right, Jonnu's available. He's got to be one of the picks. He is crucial to what we're doing with Miami right now. So Jonnu, come on down. We got this bet with Buffalo. We'll do Oppo correlation for that. And we'll take Tyler Conklin as well. So there we go. 2662 build. Got our first correlation with Tua, or I guess our first same team correlation with Tua. We have Josh Allen. Again, have week 16 correlation for him and week 17. We have Tua Tagovailoa. We have we don't have correlation for him, though, for both. But we have correlation with Cleveland with him. RBs are James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Gus Edwards, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd, and Jalen Wright for our correlation with Tua. We got Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman Jr., Jaden Reed, the Buffalo receivers, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. Again, great athletic articles. Really sucking these guys off. Came out today. And Johnny Smith and Tyler Conklin as our tight ends. Obviously, want to add on one more tight end. Think also one more receiver. RB is pretty much out of the question here. 35% estimate across the whole portfolio feels good. Man, that's a lot of estimate. Even I'm at like 20%, but big board a little bit higher. But yeah, look, I think estimate is a good bet. Still want to be responsible with him. Still think he's a 17th round pick right now. Better version of Tank Bigsby is how I'd view him in terms of what he is as a pick. But he's doing what he's got to do. If he can hold up in pass protection, he is live to get full, like, I think a 50-50 split with Javonte, which would be huge. Maybe not 50-50, like 40-40-20 with McLaughlin, I guess. Good 18th round correlation options. I do. I think I've set this up pretty decently. Denver could easily be second division. Easily. Chargers are going to be second in that division. Maybe first. I think Chargers win a lot of games, or, good amount of games. Would still expect the Chiefs to win the division. Estimate 15. I didn't even notice. Estimate fucking round 15. The CLV for estimate is going to throw off some of the data tools we use. And I will, by the way, go to bestballoverlay.com at the end of this video and show you guys some of my highest CLV teams as well, because I think that's kind of fun to look at. I'm actually going to update my data here on the back end for that. So we have that good to go. We'll do my exposure review, though, at the end of this video, guys. So if you've enjoyed these two drafts, stay tuned. You can see exactly who I've been taking so far in drafts. Oh, a stool is a better version of Tank Bigsby. That's rude. Tank's out there. He's playing. He's looking okay. Getting red zone work. Catches some passes, apparently. I don't think you got a lot of luck with this one, buddy. But him getting RB snaps, good news for Kadarius Toney relative to the other outcomes. Oh, Cone Bigsby. That's rude. SMA's been rising. Haven't seen him go in the 17th, 18th in at least a week now. I've seen him go in the 17th on stream. I've not seen him go in the 15th. I'm happy for it. I thought me having him at 195 was fairly aggressive last weekend when I updated my ranks, but I guess I'll have to go. I guess he's going to have to go Bucky range, which I also have Bucky high. How high do I have to put Estimate? I might have to put Estimate in the 160s, which feels aggressive, but that's what I believe for him. Now that we're getting some signal. Like Tolbert in the 18th for the Eagles-Cowboys backstack. That's a good one. That's a good one. You'll get no objection from me on that. Brooks is still in the hunt, though. At a certain point, you got to know who's the winner there and then heavy up on whoever the winner is. But I take mostly Tolbert at this point. I think Brooks more viable on DraftKings if you don't get Tolbert in that 20th round. All right, we got picks coming up here. I also just realized I didn't update the member sheet before the show, so we're going to do the reading of names as well at the end of the video, but might have to read a few names that are no longer members, unfortunately, which sure really gets my goat. We got picks coming up here, though. Would I draft DPJ for a stack? Donovan Peoples-Jones? Probably not. I'd go Khalif Raymond over him if you can get him. Maybe DPJ on DraftKings where you have the extra rounds. All right, you have a 2662 here. One of these picks has to be a Miami guy. We also do need a third tight end. I mean, I think Dawson Knox is one of these picks. So we're going to do that. Dawson Knox, tight end 3. Increase our Buffalo bet. We're fading Keon Coleman, fading Dalton Kincaid, which works for week 17. I don't love it over the course of a season. I think Keon Coleman's going to score enough touchdowns that I don't want to fade him in a build with Buffalo necessarily, but we had to here. So got one more pick coming up. Then we'll give the team a read. We'll look at my exposures. We'll close out the video. Prius Bigsby. You guys, they're getting funnier. Prius Bigsby, though. I like Prius Bigsby, no disrespect. I like Prius Bigsby more than Cohen Bigsby. They said Tolbert was dazzling. They did. They did. Why have I cooled down on Scary Terry and JD? Because I have fucking 40% of them. I need to be responsible a little bit. I'm not cooled down on them. I just want them at 1/3. Really, 33% for Jade and 25% for Terry would be my ideal, but we're over that right now. We don't want to be too far over that. All right, you have a 2-6-6-3. I think the pick is Malik Washington. Taj Washington on the NFI list makes it a little bit easier. Odell's still in the mix enough that I have some vague fear that this team could need an Odell. But I'm going to go Malik today. So we got the Miami Buffalo stacks here. We have 2-6-7-3, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, James Cook, Ramondre, Gus Edwards, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd, Jalen Wright. So we're making a bet against Mostert and Achane, which is not a common bet, but it's an RB6 bet in the Hero RB build. We can live with it. We got Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman Jr., Jaden Reed, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, and Malik Washington. I could have gone Cedric Tillman here for more opposite Cleveland correlation, but a Malik Washington bet feels like a one of Waddle or Tyreek bet. Like one of them gets hurt, I think is kind of the bet if you're taking Malik. Jonnu, Tyler Conklin, Dawson Knox. Team correlates. Team looks good. I am happy with that. And Prius Bigsby for to win. I agree. Odell revenge game versus Cleveland. Should have put me over the top there. That's the team. So we're going to look at my exposures here. We'll look at them in Underdog first. I also realized last week I didn't switch the tab, so that's on me. This week we will switch the tab. So exposures here, just BBMs. And this includes the last draft, but not the one that we just concluded, or that's currently concluding. Marshawn Lloyd, still number one at 40%. So you can see me live each week, knocking my exposures down a little bit. We took a share of Lloyd today, so we're going to hover around 40% still, but I want to get these guys down. I've had these guys at what I feel are advantageous ADPs. If nothing else, I've made my stand on them, so I'm trying to dial them back. Same thing for Jaden here. He's number 2, 38%. Terry McLaurin, number 3 at 33% rounded up. Number 4, Ben Sinnott, who's the one I do want to get down the most. Still think he's going to beat out Ertz over the course of time, but the signal's not great for him. I would like to get less right now, get more if he's going to be cheaper. But really now the buy time for Sinnott is right now. And Brian Robinson, who I haven't gotten in a while, but I still love him. He's at 29%. I'm deliberately knocking him down. For QB, my top 5, Jaden, who we just saw. Number 2 is Will Levis, 2x the field on him, 2x the field on Derek Carr as well. Late QBs are the move to me. If you can get them late as a QB2, and sometimes, as we saw, as a QB1 bailout, you got to do that. Bo Nix, I'm coming down on him a little bit, but the camp signal's good. I can kind of buy back in. AR, Kyler Murray, 2 guys. I would like to get to 16%. Have to be price sensitive about it, though, so going to buy them more when they're fallers. Hurts, Bryce, like guys, you're not surprised to see me be above the field on. And some guys down here, some of them I'd probably like to get more of, Lamar included. RB top 5, we got Marshawn Lloyd, Brian Robinson Jr., David Montgomery, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford here. All of these guys, mostly 30% to 20%-ish. So I've leveled this out a little bit more, which is the goal for me as I get through a summer. I try to press my knowledge advantage early on, and if I got shit wrong, I try to kind of ramp it back, or I don't have it confirmed yet, try to ramp it back. But RB's no surprise. You can see Audric Estime at 16%, which I felt like was responsible for a late round pick. 2x the field on him, all in the 18th round. Terry McLaurin is my wide receiver 1. We've seen him already. Luke McCaffrey's number 2 at 25%. Troy Franklin coming down a little 20. Keenan Allen, too cozy of a wide receiver 4 for me. Have to break ties against him a little bit more when I'm building 0 RB teams. Keenan Allen here, 19%. Jahan Dotson tied with him for number 4. And Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, and Stephon Diggs. So Houston bets and Giants bets here are doing that for me. Need some Mahomes. I am making an anti-Mahomes bet. Tight end. We got Sinnott here leading the pack. Again, would like to get him down. Maybe 20 to 25 feels like a final number for Sinnott for me. Dalton Schultz at 20%. Surprised it's still that high, but he's a bet that I like. Houston bets to me, just one of the bets I like the most on the year. Doesn't matter who. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Juwan Johnson here are my top 5. So we have the cheap guy here, another cheap guy here, semi-cheap guy here, and 2 guys in between in the middle. And of course, I do want to be above the field on Kincaid, Laporta, the young guys, and I want to be under on Kelsey and Andrews because I make bets on young guys. That's what I do. Let's look at the best ball overlay site real fast. And let's see if we can find any good CLV teams. Here's one, negative 35 for me. What drove it down? Addison, if I had to guess, driving it down. Maybe Ayuk a little bit. Swift for sure driving it down. What's a good CLV team here? Or this one's pretty big, 85. We got Jaden Daniels, Will Levis, Daniel Jones, Kyron, James Conner, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd. Loaded fucking RB room here. Wow, that did not need 6 guys. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Zay, Terry McLaurin, Ridley, Hopkins, and Luke McCaffrey. Sinnott Chig. Tight end is the issue for this one, but fun CLV on that one. Of course, just one of the things that you can see here on the Best Ball Overlay tool. Let me put the plug on screen for these guys. And we'll look at my overall exposures. Want to see if I had like one sick outlier here. Boy, some fucking negative ones, though. I have to admit, a few really negative ones. Here's another 85. Kyler and Kirk, Ramondre, Mostert, Brian Robinson Jr., Zeke, Kendra. Kendra, you're holding us back. Antonio Gibson, Tyler Algier, Marvin Harrison, Drake London, Metcalf, Worthy, Hollywood. The KC stack without Mahomes, the best I can give you guys. Trey Franklin, Jalen Hyatt, Trey McBride, Noah Fant. Noah Fant probably allowed CLV on this one. Minus 115 for this. It's fucking Saquon killing me. Keon killing me. Still not a bad team. Corley not helping for sure, though. Anyway, it's just some of the stuff you can see on Best Ball Overlay. Of course, the biggest thing, though, that does add a lot of value would be some of the stack tools you have in the graphs area. Let me upload this real fast. Again, bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH on there. You can see stuff like your playoff stacks. So right now, including QBs, I still have 28% of my teams with Atlanta, Washington. So one of the QBs plus a stack with it. Jacksonville, Tennessee, I've got 15%. Baltimore, Houston, 12%. Arizona, Rams at 11%. Giants and Colts at 10%. Think I would definitely like to get Detroit Niners up, that it is a chalk bet. So that's part of my logic in not having a lot. KC, Pittsburgh, I'm less enthusiastic about. Got more Buffalo Jets today. Got more Chargers in New England today. So I'd like to level it out a little bit, but obviously for me, Atlanta, Washington being the big bet is the thing. And you can also see mini stacks as well here. For your just filter just the BBM. Mini playoff stacks. And my mini playoff stack is going to be even higher. Could be a flaw in the process that Best Ball Overlay tool is highlighting. 73% of my teams have a mini Atlanta Washington correlation. 38% Baltimore Houston, 33% Jacksonville Tennessee. Man, when Atlanta Washington hits in week 17, we are going to really be excited for old Spags, huh? Just want me to have a Lamar Drake London team so we can squash this beef. That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys, let's do the reading of names here. First of all, if you've watched this entire stream, please support the show in some way. Hit the like button, subscribe down below. That would be a great way to do that. Again, joining as well for $4.99 down below would be a really helpful thing for me. Of course, also with that, you do get stuff back, including my news updates document now. You also get 10 team reviews a month from me over Discord. You get a VIP Discord, and you get my rankings, which are updated weekly here, 275 plus player blurbs, which are going to be updated even more now because of all the news going on. So that is my promise to you. I think it's good content, and I've gotten positive reviews from our customers here, our community here, really. So thank you to those guys. Promo code SPLASH on Underdog gets you $250 in bonus cash. Keep your eye on that, of course. If you haven't played on Underdog yet, I don't know why. At this point, I'm preaching to the choir on here, but still, if you have not played on there, go check it out. I have a lot of fun drafting there every day. And if you are an Underdog and you haven't played on Drafters, go check that out. Drafters.com. Promo code SPLASH on there. It's a $100 deposit match. You get so much rake back in the Drafters Million, which is $15 entry fees, 500K to first place, that you really are doing yourself a disservice not getting at least 10 entries in there, because you do get one free at 10 entries. And I'll be drafting a team on stream tomorrow at 11 a.m. So if you want to join me, draft against me, I support it on there as opposed to BBM, where us competing against each other just hurts both of our EVs over the course of time. Probably my baby. Great way to support the show as well. Sports betting, top of market sports betting data. The North Star we talked about earlier. That's what we have at Probably. Tracking probabilities from the top sportsbooks around the world and using that data to find the best bets at legal U.S. sportsbooks. Promo code SPLASH on there. Use it at probably.com, or also get half off and get a 7-day free trial on top of it at probably.com too. And fucking DFS. Stochastic, play DFS. So some fun stuff coming up from there. We'll be, I think, renewing my stuff with Stochastic, at least on the affiliate side for the NFL season. They have some fun tools. I'm actually going to be previewing this afternoon, supposedly. So stochastic.com, promo code SPLASH it there for 15% off any of their data or tools. Reading of names here. God, swig of water for this one. All right. Fucking pray for me. All right. Thank you to all these fine folks who've supported the channel. Do appreciate them all here. You too can support that channel for $4.99, $4.99 by hitting that join button down below. Robert Griffin III, Historical Anomalies, Matthew Emerson, Tyler, CLN, Ethology, Rupesh, Willis, Ivan, Tony Mark, aka Io, Brandon Wagner, Consigliere, Aaron D, Nez, Jake Twitchell, Fucking Alpha, Mr. I am the KY, Buffalo War Pigs, Kevin Castro, Lateralis, Lunchable Connoisseur, Short Gamer, Carlos Manzo, Chunk the Deuce, Gabe Davis, Bindles, Thomas Schultz, Laces Out, Nolan, Jeff F, Craig B, Hoosier Devo, Jason Neff, Michael Thomas, Jaden, Kyler, Wounded Geese, Steel City Blue, Jeff T, W4 Omega, C40, Artillery Frost, Benny, D. Owens, Meatwad, Kyle Zoo, Feeling Moosey, Nick Stevens, Miss Ruby Butthole, Dylan Holzer, T-Wis, Adam, Dylan Quartz, Joe the Show, Rough Buff Fire, Broncos 05, Touch of Green, Best Ball Brian, Bob Hale, M. Ryan Dolan, SCL Bree, Independent Thinker, JPK Tampa, Paul B, Duke Dean, Adam Rockoff, Anthony, Andrew, Vicious, Big Daddy, T. Peter, Alex Pearl, Terrence, Curtis Broom, Chris Pointer, Sladen, Matthew Priest, Dylan Gibson, and Tim Souders and Dave Gladstone today. You have all helped me put on the show. Maybe ATX Bearcat as well? I think ATX Bearcat as well. And Dylan Gibson, right? No, he's on there. And ATX Bearcat. All of you guys have helped me put on the show this week, and I appreciate you for it. And if you do hit that join button, I appreciate you even more. I'll be back tomorrow on Drafters, guys. In the meantime, gamble responsibly. Don't be a horny dog. Don't be an RB pig. And watch out for chunkies. And I'll be back. I'll see you guys then. If I don't see you tomorrow, enjoy your weekends. And, of course, good luck. Bye-bye.